Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Myra Salcido, and this is Sunday. I am looking at your paper 2 for American Literature, my American Literature online course for the University of Texas of the Permian Basin. And people are struggling a lot with modern language association style and finding credible sources and including direct quotations into the paper. These are all requirements of writing a scholarly academic paper. Usually you learn these skills in English 1301 and 1302, but some students did not get the information. Some students are transfer students, and I have students all over the country in this course who may have taken their courses at other universities or colleges and did not get Modern Language Association Style 8, or how to write quotations and how to attribute those quotations to avoid academic dishonesty, which can be unintentional because you just don't really know how to attribute a source. So that is why I'm making this video. I am going through everybody's paper. They will all be graded probably by the time you see this video, since it spools up very slow on YouTube and it might get long. Once I get to 10 minutes, it takes about an hour or so to spool up on YouTube. So, what I'm concerned about is seeing entire paragraphs of background information on people and no attribution of where you got this information. That is problematic, and it borders on academic dishonesty. If you put words into your paper that belong to other people have those ideas and those words first, and you're not putting parentheses in the body of your paper with the name of the source and the page number where you got it, then that is not academic integrity. So you really want to do that. I will be looking for page numbers. This means don't go to random websites. Do not quote people from blogs. Anybody can make a blog. You can make a blog. That doesn't make it scholastic. Don't go to historychannel.com, A&E Entertainment, or to other websites. You have a textbook, and we have scholarly sources to use. And that's what I expect to see. If there's no page numbers, you're likely using websites. Now, there may be websites like from Gutenberg Press where you get the entire works of Fanny Fern and all. That is fine. And they may not have page numbers. So I understand that. But do not go to somebody's blog. Spark Notes, Ask Jeeves, Cliff Notes, especially essays, 123 SaveMyGrade.com, and essays that are written by other people. That is not your work. You need to be original, come up with fresh ideas, and amaze people. Don't stick with what other people have said already. You need quotations from the sources, like Frederick Douglass. If you're going to talk about him, put his quotations in there to back up what you're saying. You need that support. You need that textual evidence that you can say, he said this and that and that and that, not quote him, and everything is just assumptions. Your assumptions are opinion unless you provide support, which can be in his writings. In Walt Whitman, it could be from his poetry, but quote the works. And then you would have a parentheses page number where you got those works from. And I hope you're using the textbook. Okay, this is one of our textbooks. It'll be probably backwards in the video like a mirror. But in the Norton American Literature Anthology, 9th edition, once you turn on the fly leaves, the first pages of the book, you'll see that Robert Levine is the editor. What does that mean? That means that he got all these works, like from people, Frederick Douglass paid a fee for them to have them in this book. And Levine, the editor, writes the introductions to the authors and the footnotes. So if you quote from introductions for background information, which is great, you're getting it from a scholarly source, then you would quote Levine. If you say Frederick Douglass died in such and such a year, you're not quoting Frederick Douglass. You're quoting Levine, the background. Douglass has his narrative works in the textbooks. That when it's Douglass's words, quote Douglass. When it's somebody else's words, quote them and the source you got it from. You should not be going to websites that do the thinking for you and use their analysis. This is for you to create your own analysis. And that's what's really large in this course. There's 15% of your grade per 3 major papers. Okay? So that's a major portion of your grade is the major papers, the 3 major papers, 15% each. So you really want to bring on the steam for the papers. And I think people missed out a lot in the previous classes. This is a sophomore level. You're supposed to come in knowing how to cite sources, how to quote sources, how to find sources that are legitimate, that are scholarly, that are academic, and not use websites. And unless it's a good website, ends in .gov, .edu, .org, not so good. You don't know what you're going to get. So rethink the text, the textbooks that you are using, where you're getting your works from. There should be direct quotations from the sources. Don't talk completely about Margaret Fuller and not have a direct quotation from her. Don't paraphrase the whole paper. It's not a narrative essay. This is a research paper with documentation and evidence. That means you will have in-text citations in the body of your work, parentheses, last name of the source, page number in parentheses. That means if you have things in the body of your paper, when I go to the works cited page, those people will be listed by last name. I would see Douglass there, even though he's in a textbook edited by Levine. Douglass's name comes first, and I will send around some citations. I have sent around some good papers to people. Please look at them. This is where you need to be. And we don't have a lot of time in the last few weeks, but I am accepting revisions for papers 1 and 2 by December 4th, and then paper 3 comes due like December 12th, your final paper. And my goodness, you've got to get this stuff down before paper 3. I'm accepting revisions because so many students were just lost on Modern Language Association style, which is MLA. which is the 8th edition, and I have a template, an MLA template. You could type right in it, and it just puts it in the format that you need, and it tells you what kind of things you need all through the paper. Works cited, long block quotes. If a quote is more than 4 lines, you indent it, no quotation marks. Indentation says this is a long block quote. Indent it, 10 spaces from the left margin, and you could do that in your paragraph tool in Word, and indent it from the left, and have, after the punctuation, you have the parentheses and the page number. So there's a lot of little things, and I am not going after the little things so much in formatting the paper. I am concerned with academic integrity. That I admit, I am one of those teachers, the first thing I look at is the works cited to see you got this stuff, all this information from viable sources that are credible. And then I look to expect to see those names from the works cited in your paper. Vice versa. If I see a name in your paper that I've never heard of before, I'm going to go to the works cited and see, oh, where did they get this? This is interesting. And I hope it's someplace solid. Also, to add to your credibility, spell the works of authors and their names correctly. I have seen so many versions of Frederick Douglass's name. It's just wild. He had an unusual spelling, so it trips people up. Aunt Hetty on matrimony is not spelled Heddy. It's Hetty. The little things add credibility to you as a writer to get those things correct. But I'm grading on the big picture. But if there's enough distractions in your paper that I have to read a sentence 3 or 4 times to get what you're talking about, then that's a problem. It takes the reader out of the paper. Yeah, I'm looking for the big picture, that you follow the prompt. Paper 2, you're comparing 2 texts unless you had permission otherwise to do something different. And saying which text is better in addressing gender, societal mores, norms, and there's a wide range of things that you can do. But if you just do a narrative biography on one source, that's not the requirements of the paper. So read the prompt again. If you have questions, you can call me, and I will send out an email today. Even though it's Sunday, I have a broken foot, so I'm working Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I'm home Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I will take FaceTime calls, and anything else, I'll send an email around like that to give you my phone number. And just be sure you're in front of a computer when you do call, so we can go over your paper and I could tell you what you need. I'm doing that right now. Also, I am typing in feedback into drafts and sending that back to you in Canvas email. So this video is way too long, so I'm going to cut it off and do another one on the final exam. I was going to add stuff, but it's going to take a long time, so I'm going to go ahead and see you at the next video.